An exciting new image from NASA just dropped, and it might finally indicate what we've all feared, or waited for. NASA has already released a number of test photos as it prepares the James Webb Space Telescope for launch. The space agency, on the other hand, has now disclosed when we might expect to view the first photographs from the James Webb Telescope. And just what images have been discovered by the agency. Could they be proof of actual alien life out there in the cosmos? Or maybe they could be the discovery of a new world that could support life? Yeah, I guess we just need to keep our fingers crossed on that. NASA has announced that the James Webb Space Telescope's first full-color photos and more spectroscopic data will be released on July 12, 2022, capping up a 6-month period of assessment and preparation. The photographs will signal the start of Webb's research operations, in which interested astronomers will be able to use Webb to investigate the early cosmos, exoplanet atmospheres, star formation and death, and the development of galaxies in unprecedented detail. Webb's capabilities will be showcased in its research mission and will begin with the release of the first full-color photographs and data. On July 12, 2022, NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, a collaboration with ESA, the European Space Agency, and the Canadian Space Agency, the CSA, will disclose its first full-color photographs and spectroscopic data. The Webb Space Telescope, the biggest and most complicated observatory ever launched into orbit, has been undergoing a 6-month preparation process before it can begin science operations, adjusting its instruments to the vacuum of space and aligning its mirrors. This meticulous procedure, not to mention years of technological improvements and mission preparation, has resulted in the first photographs and data. A showcase of Webb at full capacity, ready to start its research mission and reveal the infrared cosmos. We are on the verge of an extremely exciting moment, as new information about our cosmos will finally reach us at the Observatory for Science. Webb's first full-color photographs will provide a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us all to pause and wonder at a vision humankind has never seen before, said Eric Smith, Webb program scientist at NASA headquarters in Washington. These photos will be the result of decades of hard work, skill, and ambition, but they will just be the beginning. Now, just how were these images discovered behind the curtains? Choosing what Webb should look at first has been a 5-year undertaking led by an international collaboration of NASA, ESA, again the European Space Agency, the Canadian Space Agency, and the Space Telescope Scientific Institute, the STSCI, in Baltimore, which houses Webb's scientific and mission operations. Before beginning science work, JWST needed several months of preparation, cooling the telescope to its operational temperature, calibrating equipment, and leveling the mirrors were all a part of the procedure. For 5 years, the ESA, NASA, and the Canadian Space Agency, and the Space Telescope Science Institute, STSCI, debated what Webb should capture first in order to demonstrate the observatory's capabilities. The first photos and spectroscopic observations will be taken when each of Webb's instruments has been adjusted, evaluated, and given the green light by its science and engineering teams. A list of objectives for the use of Webb's fearsome skills has been pre-selected and prioritized by an international committee. The data will subsequently be received by Webb's instrument scientists and converted into images for astronomers and the general public by the production. Webb project scientist Klaus Pontoppidan remarked, "Our aims for Webb's initial photographs and data are both to display the telescope's strong equipment and to preview the research mission to come. They'll undoubtedly give astronomers and the general public a long-awaited wow." Alyssa Pagan, a scientific visualization developer at STSCI, remarked, "I feel really blessed to be a part of it. It can take anything from weeks to a month to go from raw telescope data to a final, clean image that communicates scientific knowledge about the universe. As a result of all this, we might deduce that the scientist procedure requires a significant amount of time, energy, and effort. If you haven't heard of it, the James Webb Space Telescope is the world's foremost observatory for space science. Webb will look into the secrets of our solar system, as well as distant worlds orbiting other stars, as well as the fascinating architecture and beginnings of our universe and our place inside of it. So, what will we see when these images are eventually released? Preliminary alignment imagery has already proven Webb's infrared views extraordinarily clear. These new photographs, however, would be the first in full color and would demonstrate Webb's full scientific potential. Webb will also collect spectroscopic data, which is comprehensive information that astronomers can interpret in light. The initial image package is going to emphasize the science subjects that motivated the voyage and will be the emphasis of its work: the early cosmos, the expansion of galaxies over time, the lifetime of stars, and other worlds. Webb's commissioning data, which includes information gathered while aligning the telescope and calibrating the equipment, will be made available as well. Webb's first full-color shots have been in the works for a long time, but the new telescope is so powerful that it's difficult to predict how the first images are going to turn out. Of course, there are things we're expecting and hoping to see, but with a new telescope and this new high-resolution infrared data, we just won't know until we see it, said STSCI's lead science visuals developer, Joseph De Pasquale. If you're hoping for better photographs from the $10 billion, 7.3 billion euro space observatory, you're not going to have to wait long. NASA has stated that the photographs will improve after all of the technology on James Webb has been verified and positioned correctly. The telescope is now completely deployed, which means that it has finally unfolded its massive mirrors and the sun shield that will assist it in searching for indications of life in the universe. The telescope is simply a giant mirror that can see far above what we've previously been able to see using infrared light. When Webb captures its first photos, it will continue its scientific observations, examining the mission's key science subjects. Through a competitive process, teams have already applied for time to use the telescope during its first cycle, or year of observations. To make the most of the telescope's time, observations are meticulously organized. These observations signal the formal start of Webb's general scientific observations, the task for which it was created. The Webb will be used by astronomers to explore the infrared universe, to evaluate the data obtained, and to publish scientific publications on their findings. NASA has just released two quite interesting photos obtained recently by the James Webb Space Telescope. The telescope is on a distant space mission and will most likely be looking for signs of life in the universe. NASA's telescope also captured another selfie. The telescope's perspective into outer space isn't the only mind-blowing fact about the new snapshot. James Webb has come a long way since the initial photographs it captured earlier this year. NASA unveiled Webb's image of numerous views of a star named HD 84406 and the telescope's first picture in February. While the first photographs from the James Webb are undoubtedly exciting, it's crucial not to downplay the importance of the long term. The James Webb Space Telescope, as NASA's most powerful space telescope to date, has a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Astronomers want to make full use of this occasion, as NASA has already devised a mission to use the telescope to monitor black holes, star formation, and even the early caverns of the universe. All of this should offer us a better grasp and knowledge of our cosmos. However, beyond the initial photographs from James Webb, NASA intends to continue investigating the cosmos through a competitive procedure that teams are allowed to apply for. Aside from what is explicitly envisioned for Webb, there will be surprise discoveries that astronomers can't predict. For example, when the Hubble Space Telescope was launched in 1990, dark energy was absolutely unknown. And now, it's become one of the foremost fascinating fields in astrophysics. What's Webb gonna learn? Maybe we'll finally be able to capture some high-definition pictures of universes around us. Please leave a remark in the comment section below and we will respond as soon as we're able to. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out our other videos as well. Goodbye, and I will see you in future videos.